Yes, thanks, Patlu, for the quick intro. So let's jump into the things. Before the starting, can you just please confirm whether my voice is audible as well as my screen is visible so that we can just start our session?
Yes, I can see your screen. Go
Yes,
ahead.
so thanks everyone for joining the session. As we know that, so we are part of this agentic automation journey where we have concluded three sessions till now, where the first session was something on the context grounding and autopilot for everyone. Second was targeting something on the prompt engineering. And third, we have seen something that was related to how we can build and deploy your first agents and all. So in the present session, we will be talking mostly something where how we can build a custom agent for the agentic testing. Yes. So without much delay, we will jump into our agenda today. So thanks again and welcome for the agentic automation journey series of day 4, where today we will be concentrating mostly something on creating a custom agents for the agentic testing. Right. So before just going ahead, I just want to introduce myself. I'm Kondreddy Saikaran, uh, having around 8 plus years of experience with IT industry and relevant to your path around 6 plus years. I'm presently working as senior automation engineer with Zelis Healthcare India Private Limited, and I'm also nominated as UiPath MVP for year 2024 and 2025. I'm as advanced certified advanced UiPath developer, test automation engineer, as well as a specialized AI professional too. And also, I was nominated as LinkedIn Top Voices for the automation journey and all. So that's a small intro about myself, and this is our agenda today. So these were the things we will be trying to talk. We will try to see the evolution of agentic testing. We will see what were the agentic testing out of box items that was already built by UiPath. So we will also try to understand why we need to have the custom agents, where we will try to just showcase you a small demo based on the things or the time constraints and all. Yes. So first of all, let's walk through how software testing has evolved from fully manual to the AI-powered agent testing and all. So this journey has, I can say, like three big steps or the three big stages. So manual testing, automation testing, and now we can say agentic testing. So each steps improves how we test applications, making it faster, smarter, and more reliable, right? So let's try to understand each stages here. First thing is about the manual testing, where we can say it's the foundation stage. Human testers manually execute test cases, so where they is to detect the defects and report the issues and all. So in early days, testers had to do everything manually, right? So imagine you are testing a banking application. So you would log into the application, you would enter the credentials. So let's say you want to test something on the transferring money, checking the balance, and later you will try to log out, right? And then repeat the same steps every time where there's a small change in the code and all. So it's a repetitive cycle every time. So you also have to note down the bugs. You need to manually take the screenshots, and you need to capture all the logs and all these things, right? So everything was manual. So it's like being the cashier in at a store who types every item's price into register by hand every single time. Say the manual testing works, but it's slow and mistakes can happen. So that was the first phase, I can say. The second phase is something where we can say like automation testing, the speed boost, where test scripts automate repetitive tasks, where we have automated example like UI based applications, API based, and also legacy based applications and all, which help us reduce the human effort and also speeding up the executions. So without automation, so instead of manually doing same steps, so we now write scripts to test the applications. So using tools like UiPath, Selenium, or Postman for APIs, we automate login, data input, validations, etc. Right. So what this automation testing can help us is nothing but it gives you faster feedback. So especially during regression testing and all. so which reduces the manual fatigue. So let's say there is 10 functionalities in the application which you're trying to which you're trying to uh, like test and all. So let's say there is a B functionality which been released into the newer cycle, but the B can impact the functionalities of D and F. So you cannot do these things every time manually, right? So in that part, like, definitely automation testing is going to speed up the things and all. So in simple words, you can say like it's regarding a small macro in Excel that runs your calculations every time instead of typing formulas again and again, right? So you set it up once and it does heavy lifting for you. So that's a big advantage what we have here in the automation testing. And now I can say like we are now in a phase of adopting uh, through something called as agentic testing, where we can say like it's a like intelligent assistant and all. So what this AI powered agents can do, like, it can not only automate, it can also help you plan, build, heal, optimize, and manage test across the lifecycle intelligently and autonomously. So that is the major advantage what we can have here in the agentic testing. So agentic testing is where AI actually supports the tester beyond just running the scripts. So AI is not only just helping you to run the scripts, it will just do a lot of things for you. It can generate test cases from the requirements, heal the broken test when UI or API changes and all. Not it, but going forward, we can also see these capabilities in the UiPath. So it can also suggest missing tests based on the risk or coverage. So automatically generate test data or test documentation, which we presently have as a AI powered things and all. So it's like having a smart co-tester who reads the app requirements, write test cases, updates them when the app changes, and even alerts you to gaps in coverage. So all while you focus more critical tasks like exploratory testing or improving your test strategy. So not only like earlier when you're trying to go with the automation testing, your major focus was to write the test cases. Whenever the app changes, you need to like redo all the code and all these things were there. But now like your major focus will be something on the exploratory testing and all, or else like what was the strategy we can adopt to make our testing more effective and all. So that is where you can keep your more time and all. So in simple words, just to have a conclusion of all this evolution of testing, I can say, so manual testing was like driving a car in traffic with no assistance. You need to do all the things manually. So automation gave us a cruise control. So agentic testing is nothing but like that's your self-driving assistant. It's like your Tesla. So it doesn't take over your job, but it makes your ride smoother, faster, and smarter. That's what where the future of testing is headed, basically. Right, right. So where are built-in AI meets your tailor-made AI. So these were the two things where we can understand. Uh, so so let's take a quick journey into the existing world of agent testing here. So evolution of agentic testing already we have talked, but here first let's try to understand something on the out-of-box agentic testing. What is this out-of-box agentic testing capabilities and all? So now for organizations that want to get started without building everything from the scratch, so we have agentic testing out of box capabilities. So these are nothing but built-in AI agents ready to use, pre-configured and customizable. So these were the things that was already built by UiPath and all, which can be ready to use, pre-configured and customizable. So think them of I can say like a toolkit provided by platforms like UiPath. So agents that cover all phases of testing. So right from the planning, test case generation, execution, reporting, and maintenance. So you can have the inbuilt what I can say like out of box AI agents here. So they work straight out of the box. So you can start leveraging intelligently uh, right from the day one basically. So use them to identify flaky test, optimize test coverage, rate test based on the requirements and all. So no need of deep ML knowledge basically here. Okay. So let's talk so this is the area we will try to just understand here. So where the built-in agents, where AI can be infused in our testing journey and all. Right. So when we are talking something on the test cloud, so let's try to explore how test cloud is transforming enterprise testing using agentic AI basically. So where robots, agents, and people work seamlessly together. It's not only earlier it's something like robots, but now like it's a combination of robots, agents, and people. So where they work seamlessly. So this modern approach doesn't just automate; it empowers testers with intelligent, adaptable agents and all. So let's break it down by four key pillars of enterprise testing. As we know, we have in the life cycle of testing how we design, how we automate, how we execute, and how we manage the scripts and all. Right. So let's say what AI is powering in terms of the test design and all. So in the test design phase, agentic AI helps design smarter tests by analyzing existing systems, changes, and potential gaps. So these were the four key areas we can like understand that AI is like powering our test design and all. So it will try to understand the test gap analysis, change impact analysis, coverage optimization, and the test documentation. For example, let's talk about the test documentation. So AI will help us generate clear structured documentation automatically for compliance and traceability here. So earlier we used to like document each step in the particular process for your test documentation, but here so we do have tools which can help to document everything using the AI. And also let's say at the test gap analysis, so AI identifies areas of application that aren't being adequately tested, so helping teams improve the test coverage. So it also understands based on the existing test requirements and all, uh, there should be more test coverage that was involved and all, right? So we will also understand like we are just trying to talk here at a very high level that these were the key areas that can be utilized and all. But going forward we'll also understand what were the agents that was already been available in our test suite, which where we can leverage and all. So in the test automation, the test cloud offers flexible automation capabilities, whether you are a business user or a developer. Since you have something you can automate you and API automations. So where it also supports low code and as well as pro code, which nothing but it supports users for all skill to drag and drop for business users, scripting for developers, and all these things. So you can also go with like coded automations and all. So if you're from a development background and all, if still you are something on the business perspective or use your citizen developer, yes, still you can just leverage the UiPath capabilities here. And also it not only helps you to just develop the code and all, it also helps you to run your test across multiple devices and also OS and also the browsers adjusted by the AI agents. Nothing but it will support the cross platform as well as the cross browser automations too. And all the test assets are version control to ensure consistency, so during frequent updates. So that is what we can see in the test automation here, right? So in the test execution, you can also have the self-healing agent execution. So self-healing agents are nothing but now we can see only in the UI automations. But going forward, UiPath is also planning to have this self-healing agents executions in the test execution also. This is nothing but like AI is being infused in your test execution also. If there's something there is an update in the application, yes, it will automatically recover and it will also updates you stating that this is where the application has been changed and all, right? So last but not least, we can say we also have something here on the test management. So it will manage your entire testing operations, become seamless with AI augmented tools here. So it will support the element integrations. It easily connects with applications, lifecycle management tools like Jira, Azure DevOps, Rally, and all. So it will also help you have a better test data management, It will also have proper real-time dashboards, identify trends, flakiness, bottlenecks, and optimization opportunities, the reporting and analytics and all. And you can also have proper planning and scheduling here. So this is something where AI have been infused presently with the out-of-box capabilities and all. As I was speaking here, these were the like four pillars in our testing life cycle where all this AI is powered. But as we are speaking, we just want to understand where this were already been existing and all. So in the present version of 24.6, we can say like we can automatically if we are working on something on testing or the test suite and all, so you can automatically generate a test for the requirements which has already been there. You can all you can create generate coded test automations. So once you provide the test cases, you cannot like with the object repository being enabled with all your elements or the application being there existing in the object repository, yes, it can generate the coded automations, and you can search project in the natural language. Now, this was the existing capabilities we have here, uh, where you can import your test cases from the Excel. No need to write all your test cases manually. So you can just utilize an Excel or CSV stating that, hey, these were my 100 test cases which I want to import from the Excel. Yes, you can do that particular thing, right? You can also generate test insight reports and all these things. So this is something where we have the existing capabilities of testing in our existing framework, right? Fine. So now let's talk something about the custom agents. So what happens, something like out of all these agents, it is something UiPath has identified that, hey, this were some sort of pain points uh, where we can initially leverage so that enterprises can utilize from the day one of their automation journey and all, automation testing journey and all. But since we know that like your path is evolving and all, so every release like you can have the latest updates and all. So in the next updates you might be seeing something new. So this is something that was lined up, but still this particular agents were not meeting your needs and all. So if it in studio, what you have done, so you have created your custom activities and all. So you have written your activities in C sharp, you have created nugget packages, you or else you created something called as libraries and all. It's like reusabilities you have created so that you can leverage those things, right? In the similar way, since you want to utilize or create some AI agents specifically for your particular needs and all, then I can select agentic testing where the custom AI agents comes into picture and all. So same thing as I'm just trying to repeat. If your testing needs are unique, that where built your way comes in. So here you build your own AI agents, custom tailored to your testing environments, tools, and goals basically. So these agents are fully programmable, extensible, meaning you define the intelligence, how they make the decisions, what inputs they analyze, and how they interact with the test ecosystem. So it is perfect for the teams dealing with high complex systems, legacy apps, or specific compliance requirements. When you're working something related to healthcare, banking, insurance, and all, yes, there are a lot of compliance or security things and all. Maybe you need to define your self governance, AI governance, and all these things. Yes, then you can create your own custom agents. So in short, you own the brain and you shape it the way your business demands, basically, right? So here are some sort of I can say like custom agents we can try to create here. So we can just utilize something that was related to uh, I can say like result messenger. So this agent fetches the test results, creates a summary, and automatically emails stakeholders. So perfect for keeping leadership and product managers updated with manual reporting here. So it's not only for sending the emails and all, you can also customize it to send it across various team channels or Slack channels and all these things. So and also like let's say like you want to create something called duplicate finder. So large test suits often have overlapping test cases, right? So when you create testing in enterprise levels and all, you might be creating regression packs having like hundreds of test cases. So you don't know like the test case is already been developed earlier, right? So last test case, this agent analyzes and detects repetitive tests, helping you clean up and streamline your testing assets and all. So this is something at a very high level we thought like this is something where you can just kickstart uh, creating your custom agents and all, right? So I can say like each of these agents is a micro solution again, but when deployed together, they create a massive value chain, removing bottlenecks, boosting your stability, and delivering real-time intelligence and all. So in the present, let's say when you're running your test sets and all, so you cannot automatically send your particular results and all, but you can just create an agent. So all these particular agents is like totally something, it's like creating for your particular pain points and all basically, right? So you can build only what you need basically whenever you need it, and it's on your way like how you can do those things and all, right? And it's also easy to scale up the things and all. Yeah. So with now I'm like for now I can say like uh, so we have just gone through all the basic things which might help you. Hey, why I can build a custom agents and all, or it's like what is the existing agents we have in terms of testing capabilities and all, and where actually it was there and all, right? So I now hand it over to Patrudu for the demo, where he'll be helping us to just create a custom agent for us.
So thanks, Saikyo. Hey everyone. So as I said, we'll be building a simple agent like which can help us to go over the test manager and also give us some good what we say. So to go over the agent and then to like help us in terms of what we can do with the help of agents, like when we doesn't have a custom existing or inbuilt out of the box agents are not available in UiPath. So before we go over building a custom agent, let us explore like one of the good agent, like one of the very useful agent what we have in our UiPath test manager is search with autopilot. In the left bottom corner, you can see search with autopilot, like where we can search across all of our artifacts to understand how is our test artifacts are going on and how the requirements are covered every with all the test cases or not, and is there any test cases which we haven't executed since a long time. So we have like we can just go over all these test cases. And why do we need this even the autopilot agent as well, like search with autopilot agent also? Because we can go to the requirements, we can go to the test cases, or we can go to the test sets and we can see all these things, right? So as a human, we can go and see all this. But let us take a scenario that like you are working on a massive application testing project where you'll be having around 1,000 test cases or 2,000 test cases. There might be a possibility like you can have all these many number of test cases. So in such scenarios, it's not so easy for someone to see whether all of my test cases are got executed or which test cases I'm not using, and all these scenarios, right? So so here we can use it like to search across all of our artifacts to see that. So hey, um, get me the list of requirements which doesn't have any test cases, which means we have a requirements but we haven't done any testing on top of those features or requirements, so we don't have any test cases, which means like we need to have a clear eye on that, like why these are not uh, tested, or like why we don't have any test cases on top of these requirements, right? So when I hit run, so it will search across your project and it will give you the test cases. Oh, enter. Something is going miserably wrong with the environment because it's an unstable environment we are using. But let us see, like with some other prompt again. Test cases failed in the last test set execution. Run it. Yep. So these are the test cases which got failed in the most recent run. So also I can just use the previous text. Um, again, list of requirements, which doesn't have any test cases. Okay, I have very less number of requirements, but still I'm getting some issue when I'm querying. But I can say requirements are not linked to any automated test cases. So I can get this. This is the requirement where it is not having any test cases attached to it. So again, even I can go around the executions, say that like um, more than 2 test cases failed. So test sets having failed test cases twice. So ideally we will be getting the results, but because uh, it's an unstable environment, maybe the server is down, but it will not happen when you are working on the enterprise edition for sure.
Pathology just highlighting that last time we have utilized for testing autopilot playground, right? Maybe we are just now seeing something on your bank application testing. So just giving a heads up.
No, no, that's fine. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just
Okay.
changed it to this.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so we can search across all these different scenarios. So I can say test cases that are never executed in last 18 days. Yeah, so I think there is something going wrong in terms of like uh, with the platform for now, but still we can go with our go ahead and build our own custom agents. Like so here I have 2 requirements, and then I have test cases created, bit more test cases, and only few test cases are assigned to the requirements. And so if you see here, I can see like there are 3 test cases only attached to this requirement. And when I go for the other requirement, there is no test cases assigned to this, right? So from here, like we will see that like how the requirements versus test case mapping is built inside of this. So for this, like we can build our own agent. So this is the agent which I have built. So we can even improve the prompt as well, but I'm just going with the basic prompt. So I'm saying that like, so I'm asking it to pull the requirements and test cases of a particular project, and then to do the mapping, or like the act to suggest us the correct mapping, or in case if there is any incorrect mapping, also I'm asking it to show us that like this is not correct. So suggest mappings for the unmapped test cases, or identify incorrectly mapped test cases. So I just considered only these 2 use cases, but we can even build more. Like I just considered only these 2 scenarios for this agent, or you can even add more and more scenarios. But when you are giving more scenarios to a specific agent, it's going to be it should always look like you're building an agent for a specific goal, right? Like in case if you are building an agent here, like we are building only for the requirements and the test cases, right? So what are the scenarios you are thinking between these 2 requirements, these 2 artifacts, test cases and the requirements? We can add those many actions what we want to perform. But when it comes to uh, if you want to include the test executions, then again you need to build a some specific agent to that. Like in case if you are combining multiple artifacts dealing or multiple scenarios under the same agent, which is going to be kind of like it will get confused, and there might be a high chances that it may fail, right? And so for this, like we need to pull out all the requirements and all the test cases. So how we can do that? So to do that, we need to build our workflows. So those are the two different workflows which I built: get all test cases and get all requirements. So with the help of HTTP requests or API call to the test manager, we are going to pull all these details. So for instance, how we will be doing that? So in the test manager, so I'll open one more instance of the test manager. And after this test manager underscore, we'll just update swagger dot slash index dot html. So this actually gives me the swagger documentation for entire my test manager artifacts. So here I can see endpoints for each of these details. Like in case if I want to get a test case details, so I can just simply search test case. Yep. So I can get all the test cases to specific to some particular project. So I need to get the project ID. So how can I get the project ID? So here there is an API to get all the projects. So we can get all the projects, like where we can see project ID there, so that like we can get the project ID of specific project, or else like we can even go with the prefix, the project prefix. So project prefix is nothing but when I look at my test manager. So if you see here after the projects, like we have UAT defined here. So these three dot letters will be considered as a prefix. So even we can get the project ID even with the help of that prefix also. So in order to get that, like we need to, so first we will take the project ID because we are building the agent to specific project. So even that we can pass it from agent also, but here I just had that hard coded. So we need to authorize this. In order to authorize, we need to pass on the API token for here. So how do we get that API token? So for that, we need to go to the admin. Under this, we can create the external application. So we can click on add application and we can provide the name. I can say about community. I can, so there is no problem like what we are selecting here, but we can add the scopes, application scopes, I can say, and I can select test manager. And for the test manager related, whatever I want to read, like just I want to read only the test cases and the requirements. So I can just simply say requirements read and the test cases read. And also I want to read the projects as well because I want to get the project ID, right? So I can go for tm.projects, read. So I can click on save and I can just click on add. So this actually creates an app ID and the app secret, so which we will be using in order to call our test manager API in order to get the token for this. So click on close. So I'm just deleting this app. And I'm coming back. So I have built on workflow like to get the access token. So in order to get the access token, the endpoint which we are going to do is ident whatever the organization name, this is going to be your URL, existing URL. And then we will be using identity slash connect slash token. So which will give us the API token. So barrier token. So that we will be using. So let me use the log message here in order to print the token, so that like we will start working on the Swagger in order to see how it actually works. So I'm just trying to get the token from this particular workflow. Click on run workflow. The output. So this is going to be my API token. So with the help of this, I can do the authentication here. So I'll be typing bearer. I'll be removing all these things and I'll keep only the API token and click on authorize. Now I could able to authorize and I want to get the project ID for this particular project, which is with the UIT. So I'll be searching for the project. So with the project prefix, I can get it. So we have already done the authorization. So we can just simply click on try it out and we'll provide the prefix, whatever is there, and click on execute. So here I can get my project ID. Here is my ID F3AB833098200 and all this thing. So I use the same as part of my automations. So this we can pass from the outside as well, but I just created as an argument, sorry, variable, and I just passed in as an hard coded value for now. So this is going to be my project ID. So even for the requirements also, I have done the same. So we will be copying this particular ID and we will get all the test cases. A test case. Oh, yeah. So test cases based on the project ID, I want to get the test cases, whatever the test cases I have. So we'll simply click on try it out and we'll pass the project ID here and click on execute. So I got all the test cases, whatever I have there. So in the similar way, like we will be getting it for the requirements as well. So requirements, requirements. So we can get all the requirements based on the project ID. So it will give you all the requirements what we have there. So this is how we can implement these workflows in terms of HTTP requests. So with the help of the Swagger documentation, so we have used the invoke access token, and after that, like we are building a data table that like with the ID, object ID, name, and the description. And then again, we are making the API call to the endpoint of get requirements with the passing the project ID. And the response, whatever we are getting, that we are adding it to the table, and then we are just outputting the table as a text. So this is how, like, even this is built as an out argument so that like it will be consumed as part of the agent. So now let us come back to our agents. So here is my agent. So we can run this agent. So let us run this agent and see. So it's saying like, so just mapping for the unmapped test cases. Yes, click on save and test. So now it is running. So we are getting an error. Okay, sorry. So the problem here is I haven't configured the tools in order to call these processes. So what I have done is after building this process, I enabled the entry points for these two workflows and I published it to the orchestrator. And as we have two different entry points, so I could able to create two different projects, like get all test cases and all requirements for the process. So we can just need to call these two tools as part of our agent builder. So click on add tool, and under the automations, we need the test case. So we need to get the requirements and the test cases. So we can select in any order. So because the order actually doesn't matter. So, oh, sorry, I'm calling the process two times. So I'll just change it. So add test cases for the project. So we are calling these two processes, and also we can change the model, whatever we would like to call. So I'll always try to take the latest model, whatever we have. So which is the mini. I can take this and I'll just increase this because it depends on the data what I'm passing on to the agent, right? So now we are good, and now we can go ahead and test this. So we'll say that save and test. It's now getting executed. It is calling the tools, both get all requirements. And it is getting all the test cases. And the bot is getting executed. My desktop process, because we can call even the processes which are built on the studio. So those will be still running on our own virtual machines, and then it will reflect the data back to the LLM. And now after consolidating both of the results, now it actually gave us the output. So I'm just copying this and will paste this in the notepad or Word document to see how it actually suggested. See, there are unmapped test cases with empty requirement fields. These are the different test cases which we have not assigned to any requirement. And based on the analysis, it is saying that like for this particular test case, no requirement is available for the login. And there is another managed transfer requirement, which includes the user authentication as an acceptance criteria, which is related to the login. This is the closest relevant. It is not saying that that is the perfect, but it is saying that it is closest relevant. And if you see here, loan application overaged, it is saying that it is mapped to test submit loan application. So it is also saying that submit loan application. So that's how it actually suggested. See, due to authentication relevance, so it gave the reason that like why it is saying that this test case we don't have the requirement explicitly available, but it is saying that it can be mapped to this. But what is the relevance it is giving is the authentication relevance. But the rest of all the three test cases, it didn't mention any reason because these are perfectly getting matched. So this is how we can build the agent in order to identify the right mapping for that. So let us do one thing. Instead of doing this, right? So what I will do is I'll go to my test manager. I'll go to the manage transfers. So I'll add these test cases. Assign new test cases. Assign test cases. So here I'll take these three test cases and I'll assign it to this. Click on assign. Right. And I'll come to my agent. So I'll just copy this. We can even change that and write also like in our own words, but I'm just copying it. Identify incorrectly mapped test cases, because what we have done is we have incorrectly and intentionally mapped the wrong test cases. So click on save test. So now it is going for that. And now it started calling the tool, get all requirements, and it is getting executed now. And again, it was submitted to the agent, and now it is calling the test cases, and it is going for the test case. And now it is trying to map or check whether the details are correct or not. So this is the agent output, what we got, and we'll use the Word document in order to see how we got this. So it is saying that there are two requirements and test cases that are currently mappings. So it mentioned how these are mapped, and suggested mapping is these three test cases should be mapped to submit loan requests. It's not with the transfers. So if you see here, incorrect, unrelated to the transfers. So that's how it could, if you see here, like it could able to say that like this test cases are correctly mapped. So it could able to give us like how the mapping was there. So how it actually trying to identify or validate the mappings. So based on the descriptions what we are giving for each of these test cases, that will be considered as a primary. And in case if you doesn't have any test description you mentioned for any of the test cases, right? So in such a scenarios, what it will do is it will automatically so what it will do is it will based on the name, it will try to understand and give us the closest match suggestions. So that's how this agent will work. So let us try to build a simple agent. Okay. So I'm just thinking like what agent we can build out of it, because again we need to call this executions and all. So in case if you want to see, so based on the tools, whatever we have, we are building, right? So in the automations, so in case if you want to go with executions, again, we can do that. So this is actually going for test executions. In the project ID, I need to give. I'm just changing, I'll just change the project ID. There is a project ID. Okay, let us see what response we are getting. Output. Properties. Get executions, run. So let me go and see executions. Test executions, get the for the project ID, try it out, execute. So let me see the endpoint, what I have given here. Okay. Oh, sorry. I gave this as a response content as response attachment, which is not correct. So I gave the wrong reference. Now let us run this. Now this time I doesn't want to create any table. I directly give the JSON whatever we have. So we'll see like how it actually gives to the RSE. So this is the JSON which we are getting it, right? So insert this as an variable. I'll convert this to the argument so that like I can see it as part of the arguments, and I'll convert this to out argument. And the project I want to have a fixed project, so I'm just changing it to the variables. So now what I have done is I'm just calling all the test executions. So I'll enable the entry point for this. So enable entry point, and I'll republish this process. Next, process feed, publish. Okay, I'll come back to my orchestrator, and here I'll create one more process with this particular test manager tasks. Here is my project. Click on next. Sorry, back. I'll change the entry point to get test executions. Next, next, and I'll create get test executions. Created for retrieving test execution results. Click on create. So we have created one more process, which is just to get all your test executions. And now we will just come back and we'll create one simple agent, like which will just analyze and give you like how the test executions patterns of your executions are there, and most frequently failing test cases. So here I can say, hey, create an agent to help me understand my test execution results from UiPath Test Manager by calling Test Manager execution results process. Right. So I'll just change it. Results. Generate an agent. So now it will start generating, and we can just our autopilot will give us all the prompts, whatever is required, and also it will create arguments or variables, whatever is required, and we can just simply review this. So we'll come here. So now it is trying to define the system prompt. So once it is ready, we get the review suggestions. Click on review suggestions. So we got something like we can just go through that. And if we feel that this is as expected, click on accept. And we can come to the user prompt, review user prompt, and click on accept. Right. So it is asking for the start date, end date, and the project name. So which we doesn't want to give anything as an input. So we want to get all the test results. So we'll come here and arguments review start date and date. We doesn't want to keep these. So cancel required tool review suggestion. See, from the process also it could able to automatically fetch and give us the suggestion, so that like we can simply add the tools, whatever is required for us. Click on add. That's it. So now we will try to run test on cloud, test executions. Click on save and test. So now it is executing get test executions. Now model is consolidating all of our test results. And now if we go here, okay. So because we are completely passing on, um, uh, what we say, like entire JSON schema, for that reason, we are getting this issue. So yeah, we can change it. Like, let me go to OpenAI. So for everything, like we have 4096 and this JPT 4.1, we have 32,000, right? This is 4,000 and the mini is, so we'll go for this 32,000 and then run this cloud on cloud. We'll see how this works. So this is the easiest way when we want to build some agents, like autopilot is helping out even with the configuration of your tools as well. Yeah. So here is the output it generated. So we can fine tune our prompt as ever, however it is required for us, so that like it will work for us. Total number of executions required 15. Execution durations, however, pass fail status. So we just need to change our prompt, what we want to have. So if we come back to our prompt, it is saying that like insights to the potential issues based on test results. So we just need to modify this user prompt. So that's how we can build easily. We can build our own agents for testing, and whatever the test artifacts or objects we have over the test manager, we can play around with that. So yeah, that's it from my side. So anyone have any queries? Like we are open for the questions now.
I think we have one query here.
Yeah, so yeah, I saw it. So in terms of the MCP servers, yes, UiPath is coming out with the MCP servers, like where we can add different tools to the UiPath MVP server, and then we can call that server. Yeah, that is possible. But the advantage what we are getting in terms of UiPath MCP server is not only predefined endpoints. We can even add our UiPath workflows also as part of the MVP server. Like how the MVP servers will be architected is, let us take an example that like you want to have an MCP server on the test manager hub. So you'll be having all the endpoints available in the MCP server. You can do all the operations on top of it. And let us assume that you want to interact with some other UI automation or something, like where you may need to deploy your process automations. So uh, even that also can be added as part of this MCP server. So it's kind of like you can add multiple product or multiple tools or multiple functions as part of the MCP servers. Test manager will not be in MCP server. MCP servers are something that like will be having a group of endpoints or the function callings or the tools you'll be having as part of the server. So you can add all these endpoints or like predefined endpoints, right? Those will be automatically, anonymously, it will be going and getting the results out of it. So that's how the MCP servers will work. Okay. And tomorrow we have a session on UiPath Master, like where we will be covering from the basics of the BPM and standards and how we are going to design and orchestrate multiple agents and the processes and all these scenarios we will be covering as part of our tomorrow's session. And we'll see you everyone in tomorrow's at 4:30. So if you would like to turn on your camera so that like you can just capture some pictures, that will be really great.
I think you can just stop sharing, right?
I stopped it, right?
I think we are on the same screen. Yeah, but still it's okay.
Oh, okay. I think I did a mistake. Yeah. So I'm just stopping it. Yeah. Is it stopped?
Yes, yes, we can see you.
Yeah, perfect. You can see it still.
No, no, no. I'm just saying we can see you. See you.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So if okay. Thanks everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, Patlu. Thank you.
Thanks
Thanks, Steve.
all.